When you reach level 50 in solo level in Arise, you have the ability to combo at least 2 blessing stones every fight. But what's the best blessing stones to use and how do you even farm them? Let's talk about it. What's good, YouTube? No Good Demon here. Coming with you today with an in-depth blessing stones guide. We're going to teach you guys how to get blessing stones every place you can get it. We're going to explain fusion to you and the top blessing stones to use in each and every category, whether you're trying to get your damage up, whether you're trying to break, whether we're talking about durability or efficiency, and how you want to grind them. So without further ado, let's get into that. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you can know each and every time we go live, and feel free to join the Discord server, the No Good Mafia. Link is in the description. But all right, let's get straight into this. So when it comes to farming and getting them initially, the initial parts you're gonna get these is story mode, whether that's normal mode, whether that's hard or reverse mode. You can definitely get it in there. I can't show you once more because they don't allow me to show previous awards I get, but I have gotten my fair share of blessing stone powder from there. The next part, we're gonna go to the shop. There's only one place in the shop that you can get it as a free to play. Now you can of course buy blessing stones, blessing stone powder, whatever the case may be. But if we go down to weapons material exchange for these mana powered imbued casting, if you have 40 of them, you can get 5 powder of blessing. Honestly, I don't see this as a very good trade-off because this will cost many SRs to even get this mana powered imbued casting, and it'll take 40 each and every time, and that's gonna take what? Let's say 10. That's gonna take 10, which is 400 of these to get an entire blessing stone. So honestly, I don't find this too much worth it, but let's say you have a lot of mana powder imbued casting, you have a lot of SRs you don't use or you don't need, you can definitely use that. I'd probably only use it maybe once or twice to get, let's say if I'm at 45 powder of blessing and I need just 5 more, I'd probably buy this one time. So that's definitely how you want to go about it, but don't look for this part to get it mainly. If we head on to challenges, you guys can get it in chapter 10 and onward. If we go down here, we can see level up Sun Jinu's skills 18 times. You get that from chapter 10 a little bit towards the middle, and towards the end you get 10 powders of blessings, and this will accumulate as you go on. You'll definitely see it maybe in some of the chapters like here, and I think it appears at least once per chapter. Yeah, it appears at least once per chapter, so it's not too much. This one it appears twice. So as you guys go along on your story, you'll definitely get at least a couple powder of blessings through there. And then the final facet you want to go about doing it is your mission. So guys, we've already had many videos talking about the importance of doing your dailies, but at a certain reputation level, if you complete all your weekly missions, you will get 20 powder of blessing. That's almost half the amount that you need to get an entire blessing stone. So guys, definitely you want to go about doing all your weeklies, draw 3 times, whatever the case may be. All of these. If you're grinding out the game daily, then you can 1000% hit this. I'm gonna hit this sometime later today when daily reset happens. So I'll be able to get 20 powders of blessings, and that's always lovely. You can only do this once a week though. The way this is set up, it's a weekly mission, so you can at least get 20 once a week, and that's consistent over time. So if you're paying for a week, a month, you'll get 80 over a month, you'll get 160 over 2 months. That's at least 3 blessing stones right there. Now the main part, the main facet that you can get powder of blessing in is Power of Destruction. Power of Destruction is a game mode in which you can face a big ass dragon with your hunters and Sun Jinu as kind of like a team battle, kind of how you see in the dungeon breaks. And basically you go about attacking his left and right hand, and then when you break him, he falls down and then you can attack his head. Basically, this is just a stat mode. You can get a lot of points through here, but the most important part is you want to do the training each and every time that you see it, because you won't be able to actually accumulate an actual score until then. And you'll get various rewards like powder of blessing. Starting off though, when you initially unlock it, you'll definitely be competing with whales in your server, people that just kind of pay to get ahead, because strength matters here, the weapons you have matters, but the element will change almost each and every day. So you guys don't have to worry. One day it might be yours, one day it might be someone else's, but whether you come in first, second, or third place is up to you. And it's all about your combat. So we might have to actually split the video and talk about just power destruction as a whole, how to go about, you know, getting the highest score possible, because these rewards are honestly insane, guys. So you definitely want to be doing your Power of Destruction. There's many rewards you guys can get for hitting top 3, but you definitely want to aim for number 1, because you can get various things like extra powder of blessing. You can get things like hunter exclusive weapon designs down here. I got this even one time on my level 80 Sun Genu, so that was very nice. You can get mana power crystals, you can get the melting cubes, everything is over there. But on the group ranking side, if you get number 1, you'll get 15 Powder of Blessing, and this is daily. This is a daily event, so if you guys are grinding this out daily, let's say you get number 1, number 2, whatever the case may be, if you get at least top 3, you're getting Powders of Blessing each and every day, and then you're also getting the destruction chest with an opportunity to get even more Powder of Blessing, to get maybe an exclusive weapon design, a precision design, whatever the case may be. And then there's also the solo challenge. So if you get at least 2,500,000 points, you guys will get 5 Powder of Blessing. The stronger you get though, you guys will accumulate even more over time. You get to attack that dragon more than once. So you have to go in with one initial team and then a second initial team with completely different hunters. So the hunters you use for your first team, you can't use for your second team. But with that, it allows you to kind of mix and match teams, gives you an opportunity to kind of, you know, test out different tactics depending on whatever the dragon is weak to that day, whatever he's strong against. But like I said, we'll probably have a power destruction video guide out very soon. Now that we talked about each and every place you can get Powders of Blessing, let's talk about crafting them. So you need about 50 Powder of Blessing to craft an entire blessing stone, and this works the exact same way we talked about runes in my last rune guide video. So once you guys have 50 out of 50, go ahead and click fuse, and you can get whatever Powder of Blessing you have here. So I got Demon Slayer. Actually, this is the first time I got that. Now, when it comes to getting epic blessing stones, you guys want to get as much dupes as you can, because when you get enough epic dupes on these blessing stones, you have an ability to get an epic blessing stone. You guys definitely want epic and legendary and above, because the stat boost, the stat increase at the next tier is insane, guys. But let's waste no time. So here are the top blessing stones you guys want to be using in solo leveling Arise. Starting off with the damage or DPS blessing stones you want to use, we're talking Chains of Blood here. Now with this, your attack damage increases by 12% of your lost HP ratio, but also increases your damage taken by the same amount. So if you guys are good at evading, but let's say whatever the boss may be, you end up losing health regardless, this will definitely be a nice increase to your attack. You'll be able to do more damage. The next one we're going to talk about is Double-Edged Sword. This is one of my personal favorites. When your attacks hit, your attack will increase by 2% for 10 seconds, but the attack of your target will also increase by 2%, stacking up to 4 times. So at the rare category, you can end up stacking up to 8% of your attacks for 10 seconds, and that's any hit. So that's really good. Next up, we want to talk Advanced Dagger. Now, Advanced Dagger is honestly a very lovely blessing stone. It's probably one of the top 5, I'd say. When attacking an enemy who has 70% or less of their HP, the damage you deal increases by 5.6%. I don't know why it's 5.6. It's honestly a weird ratio, but getting this at a higher tier, epic or legendary, would be very nice. It'd probably be one of the best in the game at the legendary tier. And let's keep on going. Let's talk weakness detection. Now this one is very nice if you have a boss, if you have a stage that's weak to something specific. There's a lot of mobs that have a lot of weaknesses. Now you couldn't take this into something like, let's say, Battlefield of Trials, because they have no weaknesses, they're all neutral. But if you take this into story mode, hard mode, whatever the case may be, Power of Destruction, you can end up dealing extra damage if you're attacking them with their elemental weakness. So if they're weak to dark, you want to use dark weapons, stack on weakness detection, that'll give you that 8% increase. The next one we'll talk about is Boss Slayer. Now this one is kind of a double-edged sword, and here's why. Because the damage dealt to bosses increases by 8%, but the cooldown of your dash increases by 15%. So if you guys are bad with dodges, you might want to consider not using this, or consider twice when using this, or it'll definitely teach you to utilize your dodges very precisely. I was pretty bad when starting off using this because my dodges ran out a lot of times. Chat, we already know the saying, where did my shifts go? And I don't even run Boss Slayer half the time, so when I run Boss Slayer, it's a mess, can't lie, but it's definitely a good skill to use. We needed it when we faced chapter 18, so you guys definitely will need this, at least on the rare category. 3 more blessing stones to talk about when we're talking about damage and DPS. We have Conqueror of Adversity. Every time your HP decreases by 30%, your attack, defense, and HP increase by 1.6%, and this can stack up to 3 times. And this will just increase at each and every tier, but this is a lovely skill even on the rare category. Assassin's Prophecy is also a great blessing stone to be using. Your back attack damage increases by 7%, so every time you do a extreme evasion and hit him with a shadow step, you might as well combo up some damage, maybe use a Grimoire, Plum Sword, whatever the case may be. Whatever damage you do will increase by 7%. This will come in clutch for a lot of game modes. And then last but not least, we have Monarch's Domain. Now this was one of my favorite ones in the early access. I honestly felt the difference. I know a lot of people are saying that it's not working properly. I'm not sure if that may be the case. If it's not, then I might have a placebo effect in my brain when it came to using this. But when you summon a Shadow, Monarch's domain activates. So the Shadow's attack within the domain will increase by 40%, and the Shadow also deal damage equal to 100% of your attack value every second to enemies within the domain, and this is over the duration of 8 seconds. So that's really 800% of Genu's attack. It's a very nice stat boost to your Shadows, but if it's not working yet, or if it's not working properly, I wonder how it'll look when it gets fixed. So if it does get fixed, this will honestly be one of the most broken blessing stones in the game. Now that we talked about that, there's 3 blessing stones to talk about when we're talking about breaking and critting. So when it comes to breaking, we have Pulverize. So with this, you can increase your break effect by 12%, and you can increase the damage dealt to targets affected by the break effect by 12%. So when you guys are trying to break using any break skills, that'll boost up by 12%. And when you completely broken a gauge, the damage you deal afterward will increase by 12%. Definitely a great one. If you pair that with Fatal Strike, or if you use either or, this one is also very, very good. Your target's break gauge instantly decreases by 2% when you land a critical hit. So let's say you're very good at crits, you have a high crit rate and a high crit damage. You guys will be able to knock off some break gauge just by landing critical hits, and that cooldown is 2 seconds. It's honestly very, very amazing. And then speaking of crit, if we go a little bit up, we have Sharp Perception. Now guys, I wouldn't recommend this on the rare category, but if you have an epic and above, this one is very, very nice. Your critical hit rate will increase by 2% for 8 seconds. This will stack up to 5 times. So you can have a critical hit rate boost of 10% for 8 seconds. This is very, very nice. And the reason I said I would use this on the rare category, well, first, I haven't drawn it on the rare category, but this one will just boost it by 1% and it'll stack up to 4 times. So a 4% boost isn't really worth it. I definitely was lucky to get this on the epic category. This definitely has come into play and come in handy various times. And then our last category, we're talking about the most efficient / durable blessing stones you want to be using. First off, the best one in the game, I believe, is Swiftness in this category. So with Swiftness, you get an additional dash. So instead of 3 dashes, you get 4 dashes. And at the rare category, you have a 12% chance for your dash to cool down to reset upon dashing. So there's a chance you might even use your dash and get it right back. So this is honestly very, very insane, guys. And I'm not even sure how this looks at the epic category, legendary category. Let's see. So at here, you get an 18% chance. And then at the legendary category, you have a 30% chance. So you guys definitely want to grind out your blessing stones, because if you get it at epic or legendary, you guys will be going insane when it comes to extreme evasion, when it comes to evading, period. The next one we'll talk about is speed. Now I haven't used speed at all, but it honestly looks very, very nice. It will decrease your dash cooldown and increase your overall speed by 8%. So you guys definitely want to use this if you feel like your character is moving a little bit slow. If you feel like you're not getting your dashes back fast enough, this will definitely come into play. Now, one of my favorite skills in the game to use is 1000% camouflage. So with this, when you receive a certain amount of damage exceeding 5% of your max HP, you camouflage for 3 seconds and recover 2% of your HP every 1 second. Guys, this one is a game changer. When I release the Power of Destruction video guide, you definitely will see why this will come in handy, but this will come in handy other than Power Destruction in various game modes. But this, guys, if you have this, you will be in a good position, especially if you get this early on. We got this early on this account, and we have been going crazy ever since. We all know about daily quest completion. You won't die at all, so definitely this is also a good one to use. You definitely want to stack this up with whatever second blessing stone that you prefer, but let's say you don't die. You really won't need this, but it definitely will come in handy. Honestly, I don't like to use daily quests too much, because if I feel like I need it, you might have already lost, honestly, but sometimes you might need that little HP boost after your HP bar falls down to 0 or 1. And then the last one to talk about in this category would be Tenacity. Now, Tenacity isn't that good, but if you pair Tenacity with Conquer of Adversity, this will honestly be pretty game changing, because the damage you take will decrease by 20% when you have 30% or less of your maximum HP. And with Conquer, this will increase your HP by 1.6% and stack up to 3 times every time your HP decreases by 30%. So unless you're running both of these, I wouldn't bother running Tenacity at all, but I still would bother running Conqueror maybe by itself. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts below, and while you're at it, please leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.